Hi, I'm Erene Henninger. I'm the owner of Project Seed Coffee. I was working from home back in 2020 when I was thinking, I wish someone would deliver coffee to me. And I was like, why don't I do it? Why don't I deliver coffee to people's home during the pandemic? I was already going to Coffee Festival in New York every single year anyway, because I've been wanting to open a coffee shop. And so I started learning how to make cold brew because I was actually a hot coffee drinker. So I was thinking if I deliver coffee to people, it will get cold. So why don't I just make it cold? So I learned the process of cold brew coffee. I experimented with my husband and my father-in-law, so they were very caffeinated during this the experimentation process. So from December 2020 to April 2021, I was experimenting cold brew coffee. And then my husband used to have like a pop-up market. He has woodworking. And so he was like, why don't you just bring your cold brew coffee here, and sell it? Because you've been experimenting this whole time. And I was like, okay, I'll bring it. So half the tent was his and half the tent was mine. And so the first time I did it, it was at ODU market. It's a ODU Monarch Market. It was a morning market, and so it sold. It sold out, and then it continued to sell out. And so he was like, "Why don't I just stop selling my woodworking?" And the whole tent became mine. So it started as a pop-up market. We did also delivery to people's home, like a modern-day milkman, and then we did also farmers market. And eventually this past year we saw this spot and we were like, I think it's time. So that's how it started, and now we have a whole brick and mortar store, and then hoping next month we'll be transferring to the newer location. So I was born and raised in the Philippines. In Laguna is where I was born, but I grew up in Manila area. So I grew up in Parañaque, which is basically 10 minutes from the international airport. So I'm from the southern part of Manila. We're hospitable. That's a given, We feed people. We treat people like a family. But I think one thing that Filipinos have is being resourceful. Like we make do of bad things and make it into a party. Like, oh, the baseball is canceled. Let's just make a dance party out of this baseball canceled event. So I feel like as a Filipino, because we came from a poor country, a developmental country, that we try to make something better out of the misery, beauty out of ashes, I feel like.
Oh, I love that so much.
Me too.
That just makes me think of like brownouts in the Philippines.
Oh, yes.
And how like those were always the most fun when I was a kid.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
We were living in an apartment complex, and everyone would take out like futons or foams from their sofas, and then they will lay it on the cement. And then we were all big stargazing because it's brownout. The whole complex was outside in a brownout. Back in the 90s, that was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain what a brownout is?
Oh yeah, it's a blackout. So there's no power for how many hours every single day, maybe 4 hours to 8 hours. After 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., it'll just be a whole no power. It's a power outage. So we call it brownout. I was working in the Philippines, Pasig City, and it was technically like a call center. I'm part of the IT team who set up the wiring, the cabling, the networking. I was part of the technical team in the company I worked for, but the headquarters was here in Virginia Beach. And so one of the technical person here in Virginia Beach was gonna go to her maternity leave. They were like, we need someone to hire to replace her. And one of the bosses was like, why don't we just send someone from the Philippines? It's only 3 months. And then so they picked me and they sent me. And then I was here for 3 months during her maternity leave, and I loved everything about it. And then they sent me back. This was back in 2007. And then at the end of that same year, they sent me back because I guess they really like my job. So they sent me back, and then they processed my working visa. And then with the working visa, I met my husband. So I got green card, and then now I'm a citizen, of course. And then I have I'm actually a federal government employee now,
Oh.
apart from this gig side hustle that has become a monster. But so I'm still a full-time employee, IT, in the same IT field, and now I'm living the American dream. Or they say, is it a dream now or a nightmare? We can't tell now. So funny because ASWANG was not a very big thing when I was growing up. It's because I live in the city. I was in the Metro Manila area. It's not something we talk about. It's not real. But whenever I visit summertime in Laguna, like I would be in Laguna for a whole month or 2 months, the whole summer. And as soon as nighttime falls, they're like, don't go outside, there's ASWANG. And it's just a thing that they scare kids that, But what we know of ASWANG is that they suck up blood, suck the life out of you. But I know manananggal more than, any variation of the ASWANG. So the manananggal, as far as I know, is always out there, just looking for, a prey, especially women, pregnant women. And the only thing that you can stop it is look for half of the other body and put asin or salt, and then that will kill them, or that will stop them from attacking someone. So that's the extent of it. It's always like folklore, only in the province, not in the Manila where, I grew up. So it's not something we talk about on a daily basis. But as soon as I hit the province, hang out there, as soon as nighttime falls, there's duende, there's aswang, there's capre, or say you have to say tabi-tabi po, in everywhere you go. So there's definitely more of the folklore or the mythological stories in the provincias. I'm sure, some of the aunties or uncle would say, oh yeah, back in my day, I saw some, but I can't prove that anyone has actually seen one. Yum.
Okay, wait, can you describe let's go back and describe the
Manananggal?
manananggal, because you said that it's like you have to find the bottom half, right? And put salts on it, but can you describe the...
So it's usually at midnight, and if there's a full moon, manananggal will disengage her body, lower half from the upper half. It has wings like a bat, and then it will look for a prey. So, and then it's usually kids or women, and especially pregnant women, because they will suck the life of the woman and the baby, which is a horrible story to hear when you're a kid. But that's how the story goes.
And during the day, is she just a normal woman?
Yes, she's a normal woman during the day, just like any other. But at night, when there's a full moon, she would attack someone and feed on someone. Yep. I love being a Filipino-American, especially in this area. I have really embraced it in my latter years, just because I have found that identification is such a big part in, I think, as I grow older, I'm in my 40s now, that I'm clinging more on my Filipino side than ever. Because when I moved here back in 2007, I was eating the normal burger, fries, pizza, Mexican food, and I wasn't eating Filipino at all. Not at all. And then when I got married and then we had a kid, I now realize that I have to pass on something to my daughter. She's half white, half Filipino, but she has to know where her roots is, even though she hasn't been to the Philippines yet, which she would go one day. That's why I'm doing all these things. Like I have ube drinks, because ube is such a vital part of the Filipino culture. Buko pandan, turon, and all these small things that might be minor, but she knows it. She's like, oh yeah, I had ube. I don't like their ube. I like your ube better. And I'm like, huh? What? So I have really embraced the Filipino aspect of my culture. I have a friend, me and my friend Albert actually started this Mabuhay 757 with a friend Annie. And one of the things that we talked about having this cultural event is that it's all about the Filipino culture. It's all about helping Filipino businesses, amplifying our culture. And so The last 3 years, I've basically been Filipino-fied, if that makes sense, in every aspect. My husband speaks a lot of Tagalog now because he's been so exposed to the Filipino culture this last 2 years alone. So he would say "Sus Mariosep" out of nowhere. And he has a Filipino accent sometimes. So exposure to a lot of Filipinos, especially in this shop, is really good, not just for me, but for my daughter. Seeing all the aunties, and it's like a big Filipino party every weekend. If you come here, it's so loud. And you already know Filipinos are here, and Filipinos families are here, so it's loud. So, because of the modern day influence and background that I have now, I think they'll be like Edward Cullen with Twilight.
Yeah.
They're beautiful people, but then they have an alter ego which sucks blood, or sucks the life out of you. So yeah, that's what I think a modern ASWANG would be. They'll be rich, driving Volvos,
Now I think this should be like a romance novel or something. The ASWANG?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I am hoping that Filipino and Filipino culture here in America would be so big that it would be like a K-pop type of big, because K-pop is taking over, and I'm like, why are we not taking over?
We're so talented.
I know. We have P-pop now, by the way. So I feel like our culture, our food, are just gonna take over in the next couple or few years, just because of Asian representation and Asian exposure. So I feel like it's our time. It's the Filipino time.
Love
for
that.
sure. For sure. That's what I think. We do have a group chat of Filipino vendors or small businesses. It's also Filipino products that they try to sell. Like, I know a friend of mine is Filipino Accents. She has a Filipino jeepney boutique. So it's like a bus that's transformed into a jeepney, but it has Filipino products inside. Like, she has barong, she has the Filipiniana, stuff like that. And Filipino jewelries. I'm wearing Kislap jewelry, endorsing Kislap jewelry. So there's a lot of Filipino businesses here in our area. And what I like about the small business community here in Hampton Road, especially the Filipino ones, is we support each other. Every Saturday, we have one Filipino pop-up in our shop. Like this weekend, her last name's Helms, but she's Filipina, just married to, a white guy. But she makes sourdough bread. So she's gonna set up here this Saturday, sell her sourdough bread, and she has ube pastries as well.
Oh, great.
So every Saturday we have someone here that is either a woman-owned business or a Filipino-owned business. This Sunday we have a teenager. I call him teenager, but he's just under 20, so I figure he's a teenager. And he does vintage clothes. He's Filipino too. So you know how us Gen Zs are all into vintage clothes nowadays. So things like that. We try to amplify different small Filipino-owned businesses here in our shop as well. So it's going to continue in the next shop that we're closing this shop and we're opening a new one. And there's going to be, we also have our shelves are full of Filipino-owned businesses here. Kalipay, Kislap, swag tags. They do shirts. You'll see there. I thought you said extra rice, not exercise. So that's like some of the things like, Filipino humor and culture for sure. It's the businesses here, Filipino businesses are well represented here at Projects.